Hey guys, it's Joe with Modern Survival Sense. I am back again with yet another knife review. I've been delving into my collection of fixed blade knives and I figured I would continue on with my large ones. I do only have, I think, 4 large fixed blade knives. That's probably more than enough than I'll ever need. But anytime I see a new one or a new design, I'm always intrigued about it. So, before you is one from K-Bar and, more importantly, the Becker line, Becker Knife and Tool, designed by Ethan Becker. This is the BK4, otherwise known as the Machax, M-A-C-H-A-X. Before I get into the knife, I want to talk a little bit about the sheath that it comes with. It comes with a dangler sheath. Obviously, you can attach this to your belt, the loop on the back. It's actually a very thick nylon material. This is very sturdy stuff. As you can tell, it's not very floppy. It's very stiff. Floppy is a technical term, by the way. So you hang this from your belt or wherever, and because of this D-ring here, it will hang however it needs to. Because of the curvature of the knife, obviously it's going to be in that position or so. And it's got 2 snaps. Normally I'll just use one. And on the back you have some molly strapping that you can attach to your gear. On the front you have a Velcro strap right there with a piece of elastic to hold this pouch closed. And if you, well, I don't know if you can, if you're going to be able to see that. There you go. You've got the pouch to hold all your junk or whatever you need, fire kit, fire starters, sharpeners, whatever. And then back here you actually have another little bitty pouch with a plastic insert, and that will fit your BK13 if you were to buy one. So you could have a smaller knife nested inside there along with your fire starting materials. It's actually a very nice sheath, and I have not had a need to get anything other than the one that it comes with. As you can see, this is kind of a kukri style knife. That's what it was designed off of. It's got that wait for design like a kukri. And as Ethan has said, this is actually the combination between a machete and an axe. It has that big belly of like an axe would have, and it's got the thin profile of a machete, something that you could work with both, or use it for both light work such as clearing brush or harder chopping tasks. Alright, to get into the specs for you a little bit, it is a 3/16 inch blade. See if I can get a good picture for you without cutting myself too badly. Let's see, let's get a couple more measurements for you for the interested. I'm stealing the wife's manly tape measure yet again. Can't find mine. The blade itself comes in at right at 9 inches, or just over 9 inches. Overall length is 14.5 inches. The handle, let's see, the handle is right at 5 3/8. And this is a typical Becker handle, which feels very good in hand. It has that curvature to it that sinks in nicely, and you have a lot of control. And even though the material is kind of smooth, I have no problems with grip at all. Alright, notable features about this: obviously you have the larger belly right here for the purposes of chopping. The thickness does allow you to baton if that's what you wish to do. Obviously you want to be smart about batoning, because if you start picking huge pieces of wood to split, that's not exactly a good thing to do, because you run the risk of breaking your knives, and that's with any knife. Obviously with a 3/16" blade, you're gonna have less likely of a chance of breaking it, but the chance is there nonetheless. You got the big belly. You have the recurve here, which actually works as a very good pull knife if you're trying to create curls that way. And also you can choke up, and it's very easy to do so. This would be an example of choking up with it, and as you can see, it works very nicely, and you could do some fine, and delicate tasks right here close to the handle without any issue at all. See, this is fatwood. This is some really hard stuff actually, so to be able to do that is pretty good. Some knives won't do that. Alright, well, this is something I can't remember where I purchased this from. I know that you can get it on Amazon for right around $75, I think. It's not a bad price. The weight on this, it's actually surprising. On pictures online, you'll look at this knife and you'll say, oh man, that's a massive blade. But you get it in hand, it's not really that big, and it doesn't feel that substantial either. So the knife by itself is 15.7 ounces, which is less than a pound, just barely. So if you've ever held a BK2, which is a beast, the blade would only come to about here or so, and it weighs more than this, just barely. See if I've covered everything. Oh, this has the newer Becker, or the newer K-bar texture on the powder coat, if you can see that. There we go. On the older stuff, it was real smooth. This has got a real nice feel to it. It may hinder the performance of the blade a little bit, but after you've used it some, that texture will start to smooth out and you won't have any issues at all. But the purpose of that is to coat the blade, because it is 1095 Crovan steel. It is prone to rusting, but any carbon steel is. And with that, you do want to perform a little bit of maintenance on the blade. It's not a big deal. It's not as bad as some people would lead you to believe. I do have a carbon steel SE3 that I don't do hardly anything to. Every once in a while I may put a slight coating of mineral oil or vegetable oil on it. Some people suggest not using vegetable oil as it may become rancid, but in my experience I haven't had any issues with rust. Every once in a while, if I don't use the knife for a while and it's uncoated, I will get a spot of rust. But generally, carbon steel works great. And the great thing about carbon steel is the fact that it does take a fine edge. It can hold that edge for a long time, and it's inexpensive. And that's why some manufacturers use it. Alright, and one last feature that I haven't shown you. It does have a lanyard hole on there, if you chose to use a lanyard. I don't use lanyards on any of my knives. There's no reason to. Some people like to use it because they say that if you lose your knife, you'll hold on to it. Well, there's a problem. If you lose your knife and it's attached right here, well, there's your pivot point for the knife. So where's it going to go? It's going to swing down and potentially cut you or cut somebody near you. It's not like holding it, continue to hold it in your hand. So I don't use lanyards, and that's why I suggest not using lanyards, because you could hurt yourself if you do let go of the blade. But this is the BK4 Mechax. It works very well. I obviously, as you can see, have used it. I use it to clear, just like my kukri, I've used it to clear bamboo and small limbs, and it does a very fine job. One swipe usually, occasionally two, not a problem. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Any comments and questions, post them in the comment section below. Until next time guys, this is Joe.